Okay, next up is the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and on this, along with The Last Airbender, is the debate of what should be the movie that spawns a franchise. Well, if the box office is any indication, it'll be Airbender. However, if the quality is any indication, it should be neither of these films, because quite frankly, if you ask me, this was just as boring, redundant, tedious, and outright unentertaining as Airbender. Now, but keep in mind, however, I didn't despise Airbender as much as most other film critics did. Now, of course, Nicolas Cage, fresh off his brilliant performance in Bad Lieutenant as well as doing pretty good in Kick-Ass, seems to have some great energy playing Balthazar, a sorcerer who was once under the tutelage of the great Merlin. But his rival Horvath, played by the always reliable Alfred Molina, is a threat to New York City, and now he recruits Dave, played by Jay Baruchel, who one film critic just recently referred to him as the hipster modern version of the late great Don Knotts. Now, I also got to say that for his awkward speech and delivery, he's just outright funny and has a great personality, and he's just an ordinary man, and that's what makes him so likable in films, I think. And in this movie, he's also just plays another ordinary guy, just kind of, humming through life like he does in most of his movies. But yet, his world is turned upside down when he is recruited by Balthazar to become the next great sorcerer. Maybe it's because I saw Inception the day before this that this movie did nothing for me, and I'm a little more hard on it, but despite the cool effects and fun action scenes, the characters are just drawn to be extremely dreary, and the actors, bless their hearts, are giving more to these roles than the characters themselves deserve. Cage always seems to have a way of maneuvering around something to make it watchable, and does just that here. After a 3-year period of basically putting no effort whatsoever into most of his movies, he's back into form again, and I like that, despite the movie not being good. But it shows me that Cage, who is, pushing 50 now, will have more to offer in the future. Baruchel is someone who's going to be ever-present for a long time, I think. And I hope to say that one day, and this may be a bold statement, I'd like to breathe him in the same breath, or state him in the same sentence as other great Canadian-born comedians, that are just, ever-present in films to this day, like Martin Short, Eugene Levy, or the late, great John Candy, even. Now, Alfred Molina, has a way of an unspoken energy that he brings to any role. This completely, whether he's being the completely high off his gorge drug dealer in Boogie Nights, or even playing Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, he seems so natural at everything he does, but this movie just sputters around in mundane dialogue and uninteresting character outlines, which is a shame because there's a potential for a fun film here. This movie won't do much of a way of hurting anybody. If anything, it'll enhance their resume because they went above what they were given. Think of Robert De Niro in The Fan back in 1996. Think of Dustin Hoffman in Street Time back in the 70s, or more recently Emily Blunt in The Young Victoria. However, I did recommend The Fan in addition to The Young Victoria, mainly because there's just something extra to those movies that made it a little more special. With The Fan, it was just the fact that it was in a good Sunday afternoon, rainy day, rainy night kind of, movie. Now, this film even lacks that kind of appeal. I wouldn't even waste a rainy afternoon on this. Despite the efforts given by those involved, it just can't be anything else worthwhile. So I give The Sorcerer's Apprentice 2 stars out of 5.